Well, just like all the other passive income opportunities out there, Honeygain has a ton of hype associated with it. So instead of a bunch of hype, let's take a look at what real numbers have to say about Honeygain and how much money you can make. Hey everyone, today we're going to be talking about Honeygain, an app that pays you for access to your bandwidth. Honeygain is available for Windows, Mac OS, Linux, Android, and iOS. You can install it on up to 10 devices per account. However, you are only allowed 2 devices per IP. Honeygain pays you in Honey, which are points earned from 5 various methods. Once you reach 20,000 points, the equivalent of $20, you can cash out. So just to clarify, this is my friend's account. She agreed to cash out on the 21st of February so that I could start fresh for the month. And it took me 30 days and I earned 9,808 honey, or $9.81, using 2 computers running 24/7 and delivering content, and 3 cell phones, each with 5 gigs of high-speed data. So just under $10. I probably could have pushed it a little harder and gotten $15 if I had started the first week aggressively, but I was trying to see how Honeygain worked with each device. And so it took me a few days to get up to speed. On the first day, the 22nd of February, I had 1 cell phone running, which was 85 honey. The second day, I turned on a second cell phone. So it was 180 honey at that point, or 18 cents. The third day, I activated the final cell phone, and the cell phones were able to push around 250 honey per day. So not too bad, 25 cents a day for 3 cell phones. And that was pretty good. I activated the 2 computers on the 26th of February, and that pushed me up to 359 honey per day, so 35 cents a day. Content delivery was turned on this day, but it would take 48 hours for me to get out of the content delivery queue, which is where they stick you initially, to start earning some extra honey from content delivery. As you can see, content delivery wasn't too consistent initially, but then it started being really consistent, and I thought, hey, this is probably going to help me make more money, and in fact it did. We were able to hit 465 honey by March 4th, and I thought that was about as high as we were going to get. And then on the 7th of March, we hit the all-time high for the month, which was 551, or 55 cents for that day, which isn't too bad for passive income. But the problem is I'm running 2 computers 24/7 and 3 cell phone devices that only had 5 gigs of bandwidth limit for the month. And that bandwidth ran out for those cell phones on the 12th of March. That was the last day that the cell phones were active, and then they ran out of bandwidth. And Honeygain will not function on my cell phones, at least, unless they have high-speed internet. So on March 13th, we dipped all the way back down to 165 honey with 2 computers. But those computers started to pick up the slack, and I think that's Honeygain actually throttling the use of your devices. So they started to pick up the use of the computers. They started to increase the use of the computers so that I was actually getting back up above 300 by March 15th. And as you can see, we were able to even break 481 by March 21st with just 2 computers. The cell phones had been gone since March 13th when they ran out of high-speed data. So not too bad for 2 computers. So the question is, should I have just run 2 computers the whole time? I'm not sure, possibly. There's some throttling that goes on Honeygain's end, and I'm not sure how that works. But one thing for sure is content delivery, when I activated it, within a few days I started having problems with logins on my bank websites and issues with my financial websites. And then finally, when I hit this all-time high, Google actually sent me a little bit of a warning saying, you have very unusual activity. I had to verify I was a bot. And I've had those things before when I'm downloading a bunch of MP3s or whatnot, or I'm downloading a bunch of YouTube videos. YouTube will sometimes say that. But this time it did it because content delivery with Honeygain was causing some strange activity. So the question I have is this. If content delivery starts having issues, is it really worth it? Is content delivery worth it? Because Honeygain might be worth it for some of you, but if we look at the numbers for content delivery, I don't think it's worth it. Content delivery was 6% of my total income for the last 30 days on Honeygain. Well, I only did $10 roughly, so that's 60 cents. And for 60 cents, I delivered 95 hours, over 95 hours of content on my 2 computers. And if you look here, the most I made off content delivery was 68 honey, which is basically 7 cents. I made 60 cents total off of delivering almost 100 hours of content to people. So once you hit that 20,000 honey or that $20 payout threshold, you get to choose a payout method. Most people are going to use PayPal, but there is a Bitcoin alternative. PayPal is quicker. The fee is about $2.50. I received $17.50 in my PayPal account in less than 48 hours. It was just over 24 hours. So I was surprised how quick that was. There is a process to that, and I'll show you that in just a moment. As far as Bitcoin goes, it's pretty straightforward. You provide a wallet address, your 2-form authentication, and then boom, they pretty much send it out or start processing it. The fees vary because it depends on the exchange you're using and it depends on the current Bitcoin fee. So I couldn't give you a hard number on that. I've heard people say it's $1.50 to $2. So it's usually about 50 cents less than PayPal, but it can take 3 times longer. So that's the decision you have to make. In this diagram, you can see the differences between the 2 payout methods. With PayPal, there's an extra step. You're going to request a payout, select PayPal, and they're going to tell you to wait for an invitation from Tipalti in your email. And that invitation looks like this. It says invitation to Honeygain's payout portal. There's a link that you click on which takes you to a registration page. You'll provide your email, you'll create a password, choose some security questions, and then when you hit next or submit, it'll take you to the basic information page. You'll choose whether you're an individual or a company, your contact email, your phone number, your name, and address. You can use a different email for the PayPal. It allows you to enter a different email for the PayPal, which is useful for people that don't have their own PayPal account. So if you have a friend or a family member that you trust, you can actually send your Honeygain earnings to their PayPal, and they can cash out and handle that for you. Now, in your region or your country, that may not be proper as far as terms of service. That might be a violation of the terms of service. So make sure you're aware of what Honeygain allows. In my region, it's not a problem. In your region, it could be. Now, as far as Bitcoin goes, the BTC wallet address is provided, 2-factor authentication is performed, and then they will start the process, which unfortunately can take up to a week. Most people are getting their payout in much less time, but they can take up to a week if they want. I received my PayPal payout in 48 hours. Now, one thing I wanted to point out also is people are saying, hey, I got $42 like this post here on Reddit within 7 months. That's doable for sure. This person did it on 2 devices. So I think that's right on the number. So this is a legitimate post for sure. And then the last thing I will say before I wrap this up is thank you to my friend for helping me out. She's super cool, single mom trying to do that passive income thing like I said. I'll put a link in the description below if you want to help somebody out. Click on her link and help her out. I'll see you in the next video, and thanks for watching.